Hello everyone. So we are going to discuss few slides on interview techniques and interview skills, and I want to really focus on few important aspects when you are actually facing an interview. So why do people fail? Okay, so why people are getting rejected in the interview? So there are few answers to it, which I found out after talking to many students and many interviewers directly. So they tell what they love to tell. Okay, so they are not actually telling what interviewer want to listen. So interviewer is like, let's say the interview is going on for microservices, and they talk about API, even though the technologies are relevant, but they are not exactly same. So they talk about like what they did, or of course that is supposed to be a good point, like what you did, but then you also need to understand the perspective of interviewer, and that is what is missing. Okay, so we'll actually go through different ways, like how do we actually come to that particular point, and how do we answer the questions which interviewer really want to listen. They tell what they know, regardless knowing whether the new role needs it or not. So I know MuleSoft. I'll talk about MuleSoft a lot. Okay, and then basically the new role doesn't need that. Now new role needs more about APIs. Okay, or Kafka. Okay, so the tool is completely different, and still I'm talking about the tool I know, and regardless whether the other person is really interested into it. Okay, so that is kind of like what I can say, a discussion going nowhere. Okay, so lack of required knowledge. Required meaning like interviews for testing, and then you're talking about interviews for, let's say, automation testing, you're talking about manual testing. That doesn't make any sense. Lack of homework about the company. Companies in banking domain, you're talking about retail. Companies in insurance, you're talking about pharmacy. Don't do that. Okay, so have some homework, like what exactly company's mission, or how company operates. At least visit that particular store if you're really interested. At least go and browse their website. Their .com front facing site is really important, because your .com site actually represents like what kind of message that company is delivering to the world. That is really important, and there are many other reasons which we are going to understand today. Good with that, so let's go to the next slides. So common questions. So there is always a question which is the first question: tell me something about you, or introduce yourself in a minute or in a brief. Okay, and who is like Rishi in short, or who is David in short. So that kind of question will come to you. Okay, so third one is my favorite. I generally ask that in interviews. So now you need to give a precise answer to that. So I definitely have some answers ready, but then I will tell you what are the mistakes people do. So mistakes like people start like, I am great team lead, I have experience in Java, I am from Texas, father of two, and I love dancing. So what's the problem here? One thing is bad start. Okay, so you are not starting great. Okay, misplaced skills. Where are skills? Okay, so you are not emphasizing on your skills here. Unwanted friendliness. Okay, I don't care where are you from. Okay, I don't care how many kids you have at that particular instance. Okay, so even though it feels rude, but let me tell you straightforward, like interviewer at that particular time is only interested in your resume and your technical skills. He is not interested in your personal information at that particular time, I'm saying. Okay, so and information unrelated to the role, like why, so you love dancing, okay, who cares, getting my point? So it's unrelated as of today. Okay, again I'm telling, I'm emphasizing that because you are like sitting in front of that person first time. He may not be interested in listening to your personal interest, getting my point? So that is like bad start, misplaced skills. Okay, don't do that. Then what is a good answer? It starts with a name, location, and education. Good with that. Add your experience. Okay, so first I'll say, okay, I'm Rishi, I'm from Atlanta, and I completed my MS from Georgia Tech. Okay, then add your experience. Like I'm 14 plus experience. I have 14 plus years of experience in technology architecture. So I'll add on the stuff. Getting my point? Add your skills. Like what is my primary skill? Whether it's Java, Python, R, Perl, whatever. Okay, Cloud, Azure, wherever I'm going. Don't include friendly quotes unless you see a friendly. So there are two types of interview observed. So one is like they want to become real friendly first. Okay, then and another one like they want to create an aura. Okay, I'm an interviewer and make sure there is a boundary. Okay, so both the types are there, and both of them have great result. Okay, doesn't matter like which type of interview is in front of you, But then, unless and until interviewer is actually interested in you or you find him friendly, you should not be talking about this friendly quotes like "I love dancing" and all those. Okay. Okay. One more thing is, remember your answer about this particular question is should not be greater than like 30 seconds or one. Sometimes what happens is I ask this question on a telephone, okay, telephonic interview, and then like tell me about yourself, and the person start talking and he will explain his entire resume, okay, and then finally I have to interrupt in between and tell him, okay, wait a second, let me ask some questions, okay. That is really bad, okay. We are not expecting such kind of answers for sure. Good with it. So that is the second thing to remember. Like answer should be 30 seconds to 1 minute, and it should close somewhere. Okay, so there should be close-ended answer. Good with that. And read the job description and align the answer properly. So if you really want to like if your job description says like you are integration architect or you are cloud architect, okay, and your future is like becoming a financial advisor, it doesn't make any sense, right? So you should align your answers properly according to job description. So if you're going to a job for a lead, okay, talk like a lead and then tell your aspirations, okay, that you want to be a lead. That is really important. Okay, so going next, so how the sample answer will look like I am Rishikesh Sardesai, I live in Atlanta. I have done my graduation in electrical engineering and MBA in information technology. I have 12 years of experience in IT. Okay, so all those things. Okay, so project management, primary skills include Java J2E technology, high risk management in managerial side. Okay, so this is not my answer by the way. Okay, so I have primarily worked in insurance and retail domain. Okay, worked on knowledge in banking sector also, working knowledge. Okay, and I handle team of 30. So we're looking forward to doing management area. So this is like a manager guy. Okay, so he's kind of a technical manager guy. Good with that. So for him, this answer is perfect. Good. So let's continue. Why should we hire you? Okay, so this might be like a question which you will get after 15 to 20 minutes of discussion. Okay, so not in the end, not in the first. Okay, after 15 to 20 minutes of like, because these kind of questions are like discussion triggered questions. Okay, so I'm done with my technical stuff. Okay, I want to just explore your personality. I will ask these questions to you. Good with that. So why should we hire you, or why do you want to work in our company? Now these are the trick questions, like what kind of homework you have done. Okay, so mistakes, because this is the best company to work for. Okay, that's not right answer. Okay, we know you are lying. Because this is my dream job. Okay, again another lie. Okay, so unless you are actually giving an interview for Facebook, Google, and all kind of those dream companies people want to work for, don't do this answer. Okay, so because even that interviewer is not actually having his dream job working in small companies, right? So if you are facing a small company, don't do that, because this job opportunity is best match for my skill. Okay, so that's the reason you got a call. Okay, so don't give these answers. So what we are actually looking out here is, we are here to understand how much homework you did about this company, so how much studies about this company you came with. Okay, did you even visit our website? Okay, so do you have any, do you know what is our mission statement, what is our value statement, or something like that? Their website publishes that. Okay, did you research little about the work culture in the company? If you have any friend there, if you went through a referral program, or just look out for LinkedIn messages which that company is publishing. Okay, and add that value, add those answers in, add those statements in your answer. Okay, because that will add value to your answer. Getting my point? So can you add a personal example, like I went to Best Buy, I brought a TV, when I went back and just opened that, it has a scratch in it. I went back and they didn't ask me a single question, they just took it back. Okay, so and I saw there is a the deep customer caring value in Best Buy. So that kind of answers, like there is an attachment as a customer. Okay, and I know there is a value in the company, and that's why I get attracted to it. So this kind of examples, if you have any, okay, it doesn't make like mandatory for you that you should have one, but if you have any, that adds real value. And lastly, how it's all related to your personal goal. Okay, so whenever you are dealing with, so even if you're looking for a like startup or a small company, if that is your personal goal, like to work for a small company or work in the company where multiple what I can say, multiple roles are given to a single person, so that I can learn more and I can grow more and something like that. So just answer that kind of things. Okay, that will be like what I can say, music to his ears. Okay, interviewer's ears. Okay, that is very really good answer to give. Okay. Cool with that. So answer which are always winning answer that they love to hear because my husband works here or my wife's work here. If you have that answer, then that is the best answer every interviewer wants to hear. Remember that every company wants stable employees. Okay, so if your brother, sister, wife, husband, like whoever, so any relative, any close friend work there, please mention that in the interview. That is very good answer. So people feel like okay, that might be like we are spreading some butter on it, but no, that's not true. Every interviewer really want to know whether the employee in front of the interviewer in front of him it actually has any relation with the company. Okay, so that means that the person will not need any what I can say help in knowing values about the company. That really matters. Okay, of course, this should be appended to original answer, but this is not the only answer, correct? So I'm saying like, okay, because my husband works here, I want to work here, doesn't make any sense. So you can append some other reasons to it, but also append this particular statement, and that adds a lot of values. So don't be ashamed of adding such things. Good with that? Cool. So let's move further. Okay, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Okay, so here in your chat box, or if you are seeing the recording of this particular video, then please type the questions in the comments. Moving to the next question. So, what are your strengths? What are your strengths? So, real question behind this is how you are useful this particular to this company, okay, or how your strengths are helpful to your growth. So, this is a very trick question, okay. So, you have to answer this really and really genuinely, okay. So, best answers are like team player. You can say adaptability, smart worker, try to find easy and working solutions for problems. So, problem solving skills, okay. Fast decision makers, positive and optimistic person, self-driven vehicle. I'm a self-motivated person. So these are the best answers. Now there is a trick here that if you and always remember that if somebody is asking you strength, he is definitely going to ask you weaknesses, and you should not contradict between your strength and weaknesses. That is a real trick. Okay. So coming to the next question, like what are your weaknesses? Okay. So real question is how can you harm this company? Okay. So answer this question really. Okay. So let's just ignore the noise behind these are kids. So the answer must be like a wrapper around the positive point. Okay. So don't say like I have attended anger management program of that's like recently. Don't do that. Okay. And also most important is do not contradict with your strength. Okay. Don't do that. So these are the both important words. Let's say there's two answers. Okay. So only two, please. Okay. Out of these all, you can actually tell only two. Okay. If you say all of them, then they will not hire you. So the first one is sensitive. You can say that I'm a little bit sensitive. I'm talkative person. I talk a lot. Okay. I don't trust people soon. Okay. Like I'm a straightforward person. I love to talk straightforward. Sometimes I micromanage a situation. Okay. So if you are in a managerial skills, I do that. And I'm lazy. I always find an easy way to do it. Okay. So I'm lazy, bit hard to explain sometimes. So don't say that. But then, if you really have examples to do a smart work, then you can definitely say this particular thing. But only two, okay? And you cannot say sensitive and what I can say fast decision maker, or sensitive and or we can say talkative, and here you're saying. Talkative is fine. You don't trust people soon, and you're saying team player. Okay, so contradicts. So you are a good team player, but you don't trust people soon. Okay, so it's like team player generally trust. Okay, so there are contradictory answers, and don't do that. Don't merge them together. Okay, so it will be very hard for other person to analyze, and that is the real reason they ask you this question. Okay, cool. So let's move further. Why are you looking to change this particular job? Okay, so another question which you should always focus on and have a good answer. Okay, why are you leaving your old job? Okay, do not complain about your previous company. Never do that. Do not contradict your strength and weaknesses. Again, never do that. So if you're saying I'm a team player, and if you're leaving because your boss, doesn't make any sense. Okay, or your teammates, doesn't make any sense. Okay, you're contradicting yourself. Getting my point? So like do not contradict to your strength and weaknesses, and do not complain about your previous company. These are the hard rules. Best answer, I like learning new technologies. I'm really thankful to my first organization who gave me a good start. But change is always required to move ahead, and I find your organization is the best place for me to learn more and move ahead in career with and financial goals. So now here you are actually clearing out everything. So you are moving in ahead in career and technology, in roles, responsibilities, and financially. Okay, you already cleared out everything. Any questions? Okay, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll move ahead. Okay, so I'll wait for your questions. Okay, and you can quickly ask. Okay, there is a question coming in. That's true. So you can mention your weakness. Okay, yeah. So if there is a weakness and somebody is hurting you, like you are a sensitive person and somebody is really hurting you, your boss is really talking to you a really bad way or something like that. Yes, you do can specify that reason. Yeah. See, I do understand women harassment. Okay, so the question is whether women harassment. So if there is a reason like that, then that is a legal issue altogether. It's not leaving a job. Is that the person who is harassing you should leave the job immediately to the company. So you should actually go to HR first and then resign from the company. So, but really, if you discuss such kind of reasons in an interview, probably you will end up having altogether different kind of experiences and discussions. Okay, so your interview will go in completely different direction. So you can say that there were some personal issues with like boss, or you can always go back to your sensitiveness kind of answer. Okay, and you can always mention there is a personal reason which I cannot mention or I cannot discuss, or I may want to discuss it later part of like HR interview or something like that. You can definitely do that. Okay, there is no harm for ladies, I'm saying. Okay, not for or so not for our gentlemen. Okay, cool. So what are your expectations? Okay, let's go to the slide. So expectation, or what is your salary requirement? So generally in technical interviews, if this question is asked, then there is a firm budget requirement. Generally technical people do not have any authority or right to decide salary expectation. Okay, generally there is another round which is called HR, where people actually talk about salaries and negotiations. So this is not the place where somebody will give you an option. Okay, but if there are strict budgets, only then in that particular scenario you will expect this question. Good with that. So if you are a beginner and you really want that job, okay, so you can always mention job opportunity in the reputed company like yours itself is a wonderful offer for me. Okay, and this should be a good answer for beginners. If you're an experienced person and if you really are desperately needs this job and if you're afraid of this question, then you can just say, I know the reputed company like this has an excellent norms for my job position and I'm not worried about this particular area. So you can mention that and that will make sure that you answered it properly. Okay, so best answers, like do some research. If you're really confident, like do some research how much hike the particular company generally gives or your technology generally gives. Okay, and don't jump on the moon. Okay, so don't do that. Okay, 200% hike is just a myth and somebody's friends have some kind of hike like that, but that is a myth. Okay, so I have, and one of the good answers I tell you, I have 5 years of experience in automation testing and I am currently getting 65K with basic benefits. I know this company has an excellent knobs. Okay, so you're setting some expectations. Okay, so you're saying that I'm currently getting 65K, I'm getting extra basic benefits also, so I'm expecting good salary. Okay, and I'm also expecting good benefits like company good plans like medical plans or something like that. Okay, cool. Where do you see any questions up to this point? Okay, so and if there are any, just put it in the chat box, and I'll come back to it after discussion after discussing slides. Okay, so where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Okay, what are your career aspirations? What are your short-term and long-term goals? Okay, important questions. So do that. So now interviewer really want to hear what exactly he wants to hear is what is your goal here. Okay, and align that particular goal according to the job description. Okay, so your job description is for junior like developer and your short-term goal itself is like being a project lead. No, that's not true, that's not good. So be specific as possible. Short-term goal first, generally in 1 2 sentences. Long-term goal should be definite, okay, and achievable in the time frame. You cannot say that I want to be CEO of your company in 5 years. Okay, unachievable, right? Okay, so that kind of stuff should not be there. So your short-term goal is saying, okay, you want to be a tester, and then long-term goal is saying you want to be a marketing head. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, so don't do that. Good with that. Okay, moving ahead. The best answer, short-term goal is to manage a risk management project with considerable asset size. My long-term goal is to lead a unit within an organization. Makes sense, right? Align. My short-term goal is to be a QA lead for a project. My long-term goal is to lead a unit within the organization. Okay, completely makes sense. We are coming at the end of this slide. So basically, the last question generally we get is, do you have any questions? So first thing first, start with the gratitude. Okay. So don't ask like you are interviewer now. Okay. So don't start asking questions like 20 questions or 15 questions. No, don't ask HR related question. Okay. So technical panel generally do not have any idea about HR related questions. Okay. So they do not have idea about like your medical plans or something like that. Okay. Avoid personal questions. Even if you know interviewers personally, don't ask personal questions. Okay, and it's okay not to ask any question at all. So if you do not have any questions, it's okay. Okay, there is no harm in doing that. Okay, so best to ask about anything you heard nice about the company. So you heard there is a good news, a share price is getting hiked, or company gave some kind of bonus. Okay, such kind of things you can definitely ask. About work timings you can ask. Okay, salary structure definitely you can ask. Okay, these are the things you should know before you join the company. Okay, so one of the thing is like, thank you for this wonderful educating interview experience. Okay, I just want to know about working hours for Best Buy. So like this is the good way to answer the question. So start with the gratitude, like thank you for this wonderful educating experience. Okay, interview experience, and then I just wanted to know this particular thing about your company. Okay, so such things actually gives a positive mood. Okay, so even if your interview has some fumbling points, you will actually end up like giving good what I can say impression on interviewer. Good with that. So that being saying, like face the interview, don't guess it. Okay, so there are some good things I'm telling you about it. So face the interview, don't guess it. So people guess the interview a lot, and then they don't, while facing the interview they make mistakes. Don't do that. Do not assume anything, ask everything. So if you are not able to listen the question properly, ask. No issues with that. It's okay if you don't know the answer. Okay, tell them that you will go through it, and this is far better than giving a wrong answer. So don't give wrong answer in confident. Okay, that is really bad stuff. If you don't understand the question, it's completely normal to ask for elaboration. So if you ask an elaboration, okay, you might actually get a correct answer. Okay, if you are not, and if you just assume that this question is intended for that, and you end up giving a wrong answer, basically that is a wrong impression. And most important, interview goes in the direction you take it. Very important. Interview goes in the direction you take it. I'll give you a simple tip. When interviewer is asking a question, okay, give the answer, okay, and use the terms which you know about. If you say a term which you do not have a clue, then don't talk about it. Even if your answer completes in three sentences, is everything is fine. But that those three sentences, you should know everything about it. Good with that. So that being said, let's stop here. And if you have any question, this is where you should reach me. Okay, so thanks a lot everyone. Have a wonderful journey ahead. Enjoy your time. Thank you.